Hey, welcome to Integrative Preparedness. I'm Steve Smith. Here's Hallie. We are out we're not really in the woods. We're not in deep woods, but we have come out to a place that is part of our primary initial bug out destination. You know, people have asked me, what are my triggers? What would make me bug out, get out of the suburbs? And you left.
Is that why that's called bug out?
The rest of the tribe is sitting over there across from us watching. They didn't want to be in this, so they're going like this with bugs, and they probably think, oh, that's why it's called bug out. Yeah, you get some bugs when you're out in the woods, but you know, hey, it's their world too, right? So you live with them. So I won't get into the details on this one, on what my triggers are for getting out of the city. But I thought this would be a good opportunity to address one thing that I've thought about talking about, and that is for those people who don't have a dedicated secondary location. I don't normally use the term bug out myself, but a secondary location and then a third location and a fourth location. My plan is kind of in layers, and probably won't go, and it has to do with the nature of the threat. You know, how far do you need to get away from whatever's happening at your primary location? Is it fairly localized? Is it localized around you? Is moving out to an area a little bit farther outside the exurban circle going to do it? Is it going to be something that you need to get beyond an hour's drive? Is it something that you need to get beyond, 3 hours or 4 hours drive? That depends on more things than we can deal with right now. But you should have those things in mind. Think about that. Where can I get to in 5 minutes? Do I need to get somewhere in 5 minutes? Well, if you need to just get somewhere in 5 minutes, probably not too big of a problem. Where can I get to in 15 minutes? Which means maybe, where can I get in 2 hours walking? Where can I get to in 2 hours? Where can I get to in 4 hours? And is that layering going to be able to address the problem and get me in a situation to where I can kind of reset with the family and the tribe and all that, and get settled in and take stock, and if necessary, make that location a permanent or a semi-permanent location for you, in which you can not just take your I guess I'll go a little bit farther on this. It's not just where you can hook up the trailer that you have in your garage full of food and get out there and live on the food that you have stored, but a situation to where in a location that would allow you to do something more long term. Now, this is in the area. I won't identify this very closely, but I will say that this is a public area, and it's a public area that I've studied for a number of years. It has everything that I look for, everything that I want. It's a mixed use kind of place. There are structures, there are wooded areas, there's plenty of water sources, there are plenty of open areas for growing. There are areas where there's a lot of livestock, and it's fairly topographically varied. So you have highs and lows. You have areas for lookouts, for overwatch, and things like that. I in the second book, I think, we're very close to an area to where the scouts stop on their way to go get some horses. So this is an area that I've been familiar with for years. All of the people that are in my group that I have decided to pass on the information. Yes, we're bugging out. Bugs all over the place.
I got my eyelash.
Yeah. Everybody that's in my group that I've decided to share information to this point knows about this location and knows that when certain things happen, this is where we will be. And if they can get here with their families, then they should try to get here. Thank you. They should get here. And anybody that they want to bring with it, to an extent, they're responsible for anybody that they bring. But this is an area that if you needed to reset and be here for a long term, it's a good place to be. You could do it. It has permanent structures, like I say, so it's not like you're going to be out here camping in the woods in tents and living a primitive kind of lifestyle. And so that's what I suggest. Look around in your areas. Not everybody can afford to go out there and have a dedicated secondary location. So, and if you don't already live on a spot where you're comfortable, start scouting out some places. Look at the parks around, the county parks, the state parks, the national parks. Many of those places are going to be secluded and have the varied resources that you'll need. Like I say, woods, open areas, varying levels of topography, good water sources. Get plenty of water sources. You want to make sure that your water source is year-round, not just wet weather creeks aren't going to do you any good in August. Make sure that you have that, and start thinking about it. Go out there, make yourself familiar with it, make it your place. Know where everything is, and know where it is relative. Get on Google Earth and see where are the closest neighborhoods. You don't want to be close to a bunch of neighborhoods. And someplace that's within striking distance. And then what I would suggest is you start to work out from there. Where's the place that you like to go that's 2 hours away? Do you have people that have land there? If you don't, there's plenty of public land around. Find out where your public land is. Get to know it. Visit it. And say, this is my next stop, until where, you can do that. So it's kind of like a spider web. Go all around your area and say, if I have to go south, here's my stopping off points, or here's my spots that I could make use of to this extent. If I need to go north, if I need to go west, if I need to go east. So that's my recommendations for kind of thinking about an established secondary location, third, fourth, if for places that you don't own. There's plenty out there. It kind of depends on what's going to happen. I'm going to be talking more about what's going to happen in the cities. It'd be much different. We're going to see some of what's happening in the cities right now. It's not going to entail any kind of bugging out or moving to a secondary location, as far as I can see. If everything collapses, then that's where you're usually going to be thinking about, going out to other locations. I'll be talking about that on another one, but that's not for this one.
You're just sitting there, all the bugs get you.
I know. I was hoping that she would sit here, because usually bugs are attracted to whoever's with me,
Yeah,
not me. Whenever Kelly and I would take walks, she'd just be jumping all over the place, and I'd be fine. So apparently I'm the sweet one of the two of us.
No, I am, because they want my blood.
Oh, were they on you too?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Well, as long as they're on you too, I was thinking that I was getting them all, and you were just sitting there. See,
No,
I brought her.
on
I
you.
brought her. I said, "You want to be over here? You want to be in this one?" Because we were thinking about doing a training video. I says, "You want to be in this one?" And she didn't realize I was bringing over here as bait, So hopefully all the bugs would be on her.
Now I know your plan.
Yeah, that's right. She's learning more and more. What would you like to say about all this?
Get some bug spray. Or figure out some type of natural remedy to repel them.
You know what? This might be an interesting spot just to stick this in. You said something earlier that I hear more and more and more from people, and that is about I just wish it had all come to a stop.
Yeah, I'm over it.
Yeah.
Reset.
Why don't you talk a little? You want to share your feelings about that and the whys and all this for a couple of minutes, however long you want.
Oh, but it's a rabbit hole. I don't know how to
Go
start.
ahead. I'll go down into it.
So, before I met him, I was into like sciencey stuff and our brains and psychology, and the more that I learn about the human body and people and the way that people interact and everything that he shows me as well, the more I understand that we aren't supposed to be in civilized housing and stuff the way that we are now. We need to go back to the olden times because we're separated so far from natural ways and just natural living. And then, you know, we're even think about COVID right now too. Like we're isolating ourselves with the 6 feet apart, and then you just go out in public and people are just like, ooh, get away from me, you're too close, and they're not even sociable, so that's causing issues with people interacting, and I don't know, I feel like, and all the toxins just from cities and stuff, and if we're able to reset and get back to living the way that we should be in nature, then I think a lot of issues, mental health disorders, and crime and stuff, it would, go down, also not be as reported, but it would also just be, people would be happier, more fulfilled. You know, they wouldn't be trying to impress everybody by keeping up with the Joneses. There's no status quo to live up to. So.
Yeah. So we were walking up earlier in one of the fields, and she just said, I just wish it had all just collapsed. I'm just ready for this all to be over and start over again. Right? Mm-hmm. What are the things do you think, if we went back to that spot, I know you've just mentioned some of them, how should we start over? I just threw this
That's
at
a complex question.
I didn't warn her I was going to ask that question.
That's complex.
Yeah.
In what way, how? Like the EMP way?
Sure,
or
EMP
like
way.
How are we going to start?
EMP. People.
It's going to be...
How big of a group do you want?
People aren't going to know how to start over because they're so conformed to today's ways. Get a horse. Ride horses.
Get a horse.
Get in nature.
Those of you...
That's all I can think about.
Right. Maybe this will give you a jumping off spot. Those of you who are leaders, who are natural leaders, and I don't mean... The world is full of people who want to be in charge and want to have authority over other people. I don't consider them leaders. Those of you who are leaders, the people come to you, for whatever reason, accept the responsibility. That's one thing that I would say. Accept the responsibility of that, because people are going to need, if you've taken the time and the trouble, and you have the clear-sightedness and the understanding of what needs to be done. Accept the responsibility for others, because not everybody has that. And you're going to need other people around you, and you're going to have, you're going to have some problem people. But, she'll tell you that when I see a problem person, they don't last very long, do they?
Mm-hmm. No.
Right. And you don't want them, because the problem around is a small problem becomes a big problem. So you accept those. And for those of you who may not have the leadership's, basics in your personality, there is nothing wrong with that. The people working together as a team is really what makes things work. So think about your place in that and your spot in that. That's a little bit off of what we were talking about, but I think that's about what I wanted to say. Start thinking about this stuff. We're not going to need it just because of these yahoos, with Antifa and all these other groups. You're not going to have to move out of your suburban house over this stuff. That's going to be taken care of in due time. But when the day comes when you do have to, this is a great way to do it. Look at where you have established places of the right kind of mixed geography to kind of start over again. And if you think that you have to, I am not, I'll say right now, I do fine in the woods. I've spent a lot of time in my life in the woods. I'm comfortable in the woods. I could live in the woods. I prefer not to be honest. I kind of like my cushy life to an extent, But just because you have to go somewhere else doesn't mean you have to live a caveman life, okay? I enjoy my running water. I enjoy all that other stuff. And there are ways that can be. Plenty of people do it now. Plenty of people live good lives outside of the city. So just kind of keep that in mind. Look at places to where you can live the best life you can if you have to leave where you are. And I think we'll bug out of here, huh? What do you think?
Yeah, spider just made a spider web
Whoa.
off your camera.
You guys over there ready to bug out of this bug infested place? They're all grinning there. Okay.
Can we go home now?
Okay, well, you all have a good day. Remember that we prepare well today in order to live well tomorrow. And part of that preparation is kind of having an understanding of what am I going to do if this or that happens. So, you know, put some thinking into it. What are the thises and what are the that's? And when they happen, what are you going to do? Where are you going to go?
Where are you going to find your horse?
Where are you going to find your horse? Yeah, she's now getting into horses. All right. You all have a good day, and we will talk to you later. Want to say goodbye?
Bye.
All right. Talk to you later. Bye bye.